さて。
What is going on, guys? It has been just under 2 years since I went to my first ever offline tournament at the regional finals. And I'll be the first to tell you that nerves at tournaments are real. The first one I went to, after my first game, my legs were shaking so much to the point where I almost fell over just trying to walk away from the set. But I've learned a lot over the years, gotten a lot of experience, been given a lot of tips by people, figured out some stuff myself, so I figured I'd give you guys 5 tips on how to deal with nerves, either going to a local, going to a tournament, whether it's your first one or your 10th one. And the first tip I can give you, and yes, some of these are probably going to sound obvious, but trust me, they are important. Tip number 1, starting from the night before, get some sleep. And what I mean by that is, don't stay up till 4 a.m. labbing, don't stay up till 4 a.m. Studying your opponents. You can do that to a certain point, but make sure you get some rest. I'm sure I could look up some stats or whatever about how you feel when you're tired, your reaction time, all that fun stuff, but the too long didn't read of it, you're just not going to play as well when you're tired. So first and foremost, the night before, get some sleep. And tip number 2, also probably sounds pretty obvious, but we're going to say it anyways because again, kind of important. Eat something. And I don't mean stuff your face right before you gotta play, nothing like that. Now, whether you are hungry in the morning, you're not hungry in the morning, get something to eat. It could be an actual breakfast, it could just be a banana, it could be just a protein bar for all we know. But just get something to give you a little bit of energy to get you up in the morning. Tip number 3, and it doesn't matter if the tournament starts at 10 a.m., starts at noon, starts at 4, starts at 6, it doesn't matter. What I would want you to do is I want you to get there early and warm up. And I don't just mean just practicing or whatever, that's the warm up part. But the other reason to get there early besides just warming up is it's going to feel different. And what I mean by that is you're not playing at home, you're not over at a friend's house, unless your local is at a friend's house, then I guess it is. But at a local event, at a big tournament, it's going to feel different. And if you get there early, there are usually setups. If the tournament's going on already, your pool's later on, the setups normally open up. But if you get there early before your pool, like an hour before, you show up, you sit down at one of the setups, and you start practicing, you're going to start getting used to feeling how the monitor works, how the PlayStation works, and more importantly than that, playing in that room. If you're in a big room, so like if you're at EVO, if you're a CEO, Combo Breaker, Ultimate Fighting Arena, any of these places, you're going to be in a very large room with a lot of setups, a lot of people, and possibly multiple stages. It's going to feel different, and you might start getting stressed out just by being in the room. But if you get there early, you start practicing on one of those setups, start doing combos, maybe play a couple casuals with somebody. You start getting used to being surrounded by people, by playing on these setups, being in that room. And by doing that, when you actually get to the point where it's your turn to play at the tournament, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable playing on those setups, and you're going to be much more ready for the event than if you just showed up and played. Tip number 4, you are about to play. What are you thinking? What I want you to think about is your game plan. When you go into an event or you're playing these games, typically you have a game plan that you want to do. Are you a zoner, a rushdown, a grappler? Typically you come up with game plans either for specific opponents, the characters they play, just how your characters work. You usually have a game plan, and the best way to do it is to think about it when you go into the game. When you think specifically about your game plan, you're not going to think about the people, you're not going to think about people possibly watching you, you're not going to think about the tournament, the room you're in. The only thing you want to think about is what you're going to do in the game. And the final tip I'm going to give you, and this is the most important one of them all, you do this before you start playing, while you're playing, and after you're done playing. Breathe. No, I'm not kidding. Breathe. When I went to my first tournament a couple years ago, after I was done playing that first game, I almost couldn't breathe. My legs were shaking so bad, the nerves were hitting me so hard that I wish I just stopped and took a few deep breaths. Just in and out a couple of times to calm you down, ease the nerves, hopefully stop the hands from shaking a little bit, and just breathe. It is more important than you know, and never forget, everyone feels this way. Doesn't matter if it's your first tournament, you've been to several tournaments. I've been to several tournaments now for a couple years. I still feel nervous when I go into these events. But as you get more experience doing it, you get better at playing with the nerves. So just remember, you're not alone. Everyone feels this way. Hopefully this video helps you with your next local, your next major, be it your first one, your 5th one, or your 100th one. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.